I'm going to try to talk about my current observations on freedom and how it relates to going my own way. I think I tend to look at my blue pill days as like a gift. It's something I can compare my current life to. One of the things in my blue pill days that gave me that sense of freedom was acquiring a woman, being in a relationship with a female. It made you feel alive. It gave you that sense of freedom. Your desire for a female was so strong that those times when I didn't have a girlfriend or I wasn't in a relationship, I carried around this burden, this feeling of depression that any little thing would just make me feel crappy, and you just felt like you weren't living up to your potential. I remember each time I got into a new relationship, it's almost like you can see color again. You can hear music again. It was so powerful. You felt on top of the world. You felt like you conquered something. You felt free. I truly felt like I was designed to protect and serve a woman. It truly felt like you was answering your calling in life just to be with a woman. So those first 3 to 6 months or so, I was always on top of the world. I felt like I could conquer anything. But after that, it was always the woman taking me down a peg, um, eroding my sense of freedom, eroding my sense of joy in the relationship. So basically, what I'm trying to say is when you're blue pill, when you're just this average guy, your main desire in life is to acquire a female, have a relationship, and you can see how the female just erodes that, destroys that over time. I mean, once you get past those 3 to 6 months, it goes downhill. It never goes uphill again. The relationship doesn't get better. It always gets worse. It always maintains, if anything. So basically, I'm trying to summarize my blue pill mindset from the past. I think I could carry a great deal of burden regarding being in a relationship with a female. I could just carry that weight and still have a sense of freedom. I think as a man, you're just willing to suffer. You're willing to sacrifice yourself, especially when it comes to females. Your needs, your goals, your health come at a distant second when you're in a relationship. For myself, what kept me going in these toxic relationships was how good I felt in the beginning. It's like you was chasing that high. And being the man in the relationship, you took on this role as you needed to fix what was wrong in a relationship. And that always meant you needed to capitulate to all these demands that the female made over time through the relationship. She was never happy. After that 6 month period, they were never happy. They went on that shaming tactic route, and it's just it erodes you over time. You have to like constantly work. You're on this journey of making this irrational person happy, and that takes something from you. I think ultimately it takes your freedom away. So the flip side of that is to go your own way, to escape that prison. Taking the time out to do the necessary introspection to heal from all the past trauma that you've accumulated within relationships. So, in summary, my MGTOW experience up until this point, MGTOW has helped me to get to that point of understanding relationships with women, understanding female nature, understanding myself, doing all the introspection needed to heal from that and to develop this new sense of freedom, this new state that you can live in, to feel relaxed, to feel content in life once again. But by saying all that, I look back and I don't have that desire for the female like I did. It doesn't. I don't have that motivation I can take from the female. So I sense sometimes I'm struggling to find motivation to do certain things in life. I don't have that tenacity like I once had. I think if you observe other men here in MGTOW, I think you can pick up some good tips from other people, some good advice to move forward in your life. But there's a sense like it's not organic. It hasn't come from you. So it's kind of hard to follow through with all of this advice. I sense that I'm in this stage of I'm very open to new possibilities, but my motivation to follow through with them is just not really there yet. And I think that's partly due to the masculine trait of you don't really care about yourself. You care about others, especially the female. And once you eliminate that from your life, it's hard to just focus on yourself. It's hard to put you as number one. So I'm thinking that it's unnatural for a man to live in, extreme forms of freedom for extended periods of time. I think as men, we like to strive for something. We like to be on a journey, striving for a goal. And when we reach a goal, we temporarily, taste the fruits of our labor. But we don't sit there and dwell in the fruits of our labor. We kind of get bored real quick. We want to just move on to the next thing. I think one of my current problems is I look too far ahead into the future if I make any goals. I look way too far ahead, and I'm not used to taking the baby steps to get to that point. I'm used to just going all in and tackling that bitch. Another one of my problems, I think, in theory, all this talk about, self-love here in MGTOW, how to make yourself a better person, keep progressing in life as a MGTOW man, all that stuff makes complete sense to me. I get it. But to put it into practice day to day, it's hard sometimes. It almost feels like I'm not really worth it, It just seems unnatural at times to focus on yourself, just to reap the benefits, just for yourself. I think I keep comparing my enthusiasm that I had as a blue pill man towards life to this new awakened life as you take the red pill. You're more aware of reality, and you're not living in a fantasy anymore. You're not operating under a delusion. So you can see how that can create a lack of motivation. But with all that said, I think this is the best thing going, to operate under this reality, to not delude yourself. I understand it's me and me alone that has to come up with the motivation just to take care of myself, to keep progressing, to keep evolving within my own life. I don't know how coherent this video is going to turn out, but what I kind of wanted to summarize and say is I think over time, if you've gone your own way, this sense of freedom, it gets boring after a while. And I think as a man, you need something to strive for. You need a journey to go on. And I'm just at a state right now where I'm trying to find that, but I'm lacking a little bit of motivation to get there. So I think more or less I'm making this video to document more or less as a phase that I'm going throughout this process.